Welcome to the BNI Blast on Blab. If you are listening to this on the replay, retweet and share this with your followers and fellow BNI and business networking colleagues. I always like to say that right at the beginning of the thing because, we'll get a lot of people who potentially will view this on YouTube or view it as a recording on Blab. First of all, we'd like to define what is BNI, that acronym. It's an acronym for Business Networking International. BNI is the largest business networking organization in the world with over 180,000 members. Last year alone, BNI generated 6.6 million referrals. I was a big significant percentage of that, I would say, resulting in $8.6 billion worth of business for its members. BNI offers members the opportunity to share ideas, contacts, but most importantly, referrals. So if you're just listening in or just coming into the meeting, we always ask people to tell a little bird, tell their friends. There's a little button on the top left-hand side of the replay up there. I'd like to do a little introduce myself. My name is Brian Lobig. I'm the owner and sole proprietor of Lobig Inc. Web Consulting, doing SEO, web design, social media, marketing. I belong to a BNI chapter in the region called Central Maryland. And our chapter name is BNI Capital Business Alliance. And my co-host is Philip.
Hi, I'm Philip Day. I am the CEO and manager of Philip Day Communications. We are a B2B and B2C communications company where we do copywriting, website development, voiceovers, online advertising, social media, and a few other menu items, but it just depends on what I want to focus on this week. But I like focusing on copywriting this week because I love to write and to help other companies sell their products through the internet. Glad to be here tonight for BNI Blast on Blab.
Voiceover.
What's that?
I said you can tell by his voice he is a voiceover specialist as well.
Well, I used to be in radio and television, and I love doing that stuff. I really do.
Very good. Well, I'm really excited about introducing our special guest today, Jim Davis, the Senior Sales Executive from PrimePay in Montgomery County, Maryland. Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about what PrimePay is and what your specific role is in the company? And then also tell us a little bit something personal about yourself.
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, thank you for having me. As you said, I am the Senior Sales Executive for PrimePay, cover a territory of Northwest and Southwest DC and also Montgomery County, Maryland. We are a full service employee management company, and we basically can help business owners manage their employees, really with anything that you could think of: scheduling, time and attendance, payroll. We even get into some of the flex services and HR onboarding services as well. As far as a fun fact, I think I would go with the cliche music lover route. It's kind of odd to find someone who doesn't like music these days, but I was pretty big into it. I was DJing in college. I was on the radio station there, and I like to think I like it a little bit more than the average listener. So I don't know. I might have some competition here, though. It looks like we got some music lovers.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I love music, too. I'm a big Sinatra fan. Sinatra's 100 this year, so it's been great hearing about him. So.
Speaking of Sinatra 100, the Bethesda Blues and Jazz Club is doing a special Sinatra 100 anniversary show.
Oh man, when are they going to do it?
Landau Murphy. Do you know Landau Murphy? Landau Eugene Murphy. He was one of the winners on Got Talent. He's an African American young guy, dreadlocks, and sings like Frank.
Wow.
Whoa.
Amazing. Yeah, so he's playing, I think, tomorrow, actually.
Wow. I'd love to hear him.
A little promo for my client, besides the Blues and Jazz.
It's a good play.
Jim, what do you feel like is the most popular service that PrimePay offers that you find clients asking for the most or utilizing the most?
Yeah, so our core service and really what kind of the integration really starts at a payroll level. We can sell any of our solutions as an a la carte service. So we may have someone who only uses us for a timekeeping solution, but for example. But really everything kind of is based in the payroll. And it's funny that it's really the basic things. You might have some more complexities the larger the company is, but I mean, I've signed up large, 500 person employees, 500 employee company.
Wow.
And I've also signed up, 1 or 2 person food truck in DC. So like everyone has the same needs. You have the same tax responsibilities, unemployment insurance and FICA on a federal, state, and sometimes local level. So that's definitely our key service. And the more things that you start adding to that, that's when you really start getting the benefits of the integration, where things can kind of communicate and reduce some of that manual duplicated efforts.
Very good. Speaking, go ahead, Philip.
No, go ahead, Brian. I'll go next.
About our relationship with BNI. You and I are in the same chapter here in Bethesda, Maryland. How did you first hear about BNI?
So I had heard about BNI. I moved around a little bit throughout my life. I mean, I lived in Southern California for a little while. I lived in Florida for a few years before making my journey here to the nation's capital. But I had heard of BNI, along the way. I wasn't always in sales roles, so I didn't always have a need for. I mean, there's always reasons to network, but it wasn't until I really started getting into a B2B sales type of role and I saw the value of creating relationships and really just getting out there and finding some people that have good symmetry with what you do. So I would say I first heard about it in Florida. One of the people from our organization would go and saw a lot of value from it. And when it came down to joining here in DC, I really did my due diligence, did a lot of online searches, visited a lot of different groups, and arrived at ours for a combination of reasons. But it's kind of how I arrived there, yeah.
All right. Jim, I want to go back to your business. I'm really curious about it. We're all entrepreneurs here. Mm-hmm. And of course, we focus really on entrepreneurs on not only in BNI, but in this program. What do you see are challenges that some of the smaller businesses have? Let's say the 20 employees and under that you find with PrimePay.
Yeah, that's a great question. Right off the bat, I would say that with a smaller company, a lot of times we find that they are more people dependent rather than process dependent. So you may have an owner who wears multiple hats. They might be, the head of HR. They're the bookkeeper. They're the CFO, CEO. They're also probably strapping up their boots and working right at the ground level, depending on what type of service they're into. But really, what I mean by being people dependent is where it's like, when I ask someone, hey, what does the system look like? What's in place for paying your employees and making sure that you're compliant with all the tax requirements? A lot of times they will, say, well, my wife comes in once a week and takes care of the books for us. Or, I have a guy who does it. My brother-in-law does it. Or I do it, but I don't love it. We got a system that works and we're just going to leave it alone. That can be the most dangerous words that you utter, because you don't know what you don't know, and the IRS certainly does not take ignorance as a valid excuse. They want their money, and you might be missing out on cost savings as well. So between the compliance, the processes that could probably be improved and the financial savings, you might think that you're saving money by doing it yourself, but a lot of times you're not factoring in the time that you're spending on doing it could be, spent in other revenue generating areas. And then there's a lot of other hard costs. Maybe you're paying a monthly subscription to software, or you're buying envelopes and printer ink and all these things to print those checks yourself. So it's kind of a perceived value that might not always be there. So a lot of times when I sit down with people, the technology's got a lot better and the costs have come way down. and it's becoming something people are more likely to outsource or getting a little bit more comfortable letting a third party, national company like ours handle.
Okay. Well, when you talk about processes, how would you advise an entrepreneur, a CEO, to let go of some of these processes? I mean, of course, your company can help him out or her out a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but and I'm not a micromanager, but I really have to, I really run everything pretty much in my own business. How would you advise
Mm-hmm.
me and others to be more efficient as a CEO?
So, there's a couple of things that come to mind when you talk about streamlining processes and really trying to get some things in place that leverage technology and ease of use, and they're ultimately going to save you time in the long run. And that really is partially our scheduling tool and partially a simple timekeeping solution. So as far as the timekeeping, it's basically a web-based system. We can also, use the hardware, the more traditional swipe clocks. We even have some biometric type of equipment, fingerprint scanners that you can buy, but it's all rooted in a web-based system. So if you're talking about a simple scenario, you can log in. Everyone has a unique login, and you can basically clock in and out using the computer. And there's a lot of things that can save you time and money just by doing that alone. First of all, you can prevent like buddy punching, or, when people are kind of rounding hours and maybe handwriting them on a timesheet, they might be rounding up a half an hour here, half an hour there. And if you do the math, that really does add up over time. Also, we have a mobile version of the time clock, which actually uses the GPS to tell you if they're in a certain radius of where they should be. So they'll tell you the closest address, there'll be timestamp, there'll be geographic indicators, and that's free. I mean, that's basically a free app, Android and iPhone, and that allows your employees to kind of clock in. Now, the second half of that, so that's already saving you potentially some time and money because you're not going through a bunch of handwritten time clocks, adding it up, there might be room for human error there that could trip you up in the end. But also, once you have those captured in the time clock, that all immediately flows into payroll. So you're eliminating that process of you counting up the hours, adding them up, manually keying them in. It's an automatic feed. So you right there have gotten more accurate. You've reduced the chances of error, and you're saving yourself time when it comes, every 2 weeks when you have to process payroll, you just push a button and it automatically imports those hours. So, that's just a little example of how, some of those solutions can work together to save you time. And
there's no doubt. Yeah, that's really good. Thank you.
Moving back to BNI focus question. What makes BNI worthwhile to you?
BNI has really helped me in a lot of different ways. I joined it right when I started out in a new area. So right off the bat, I'm not selling in my hometown where I have tons of cousins and aunts and uncles and childhood friends that I can reach out to say, hey, I know a guy. So right off the bat, it gave me a network of people that I saw every week, and over time you kind of build trust. Everybody kind of knows about the BNI philosophy of givers gain, but one thing that they told me during my first member success training program was the idea of VCP, the three-letter acronym, which stands for visibility, credibility, and that will ultimately lead to profitability. So, over time, you've built up your visibility by staying active in the group, having good attendance. You can improve your credibility by joining, different leadership positions, doing one-to-ones, following up on referrals, and really building that trust. And then ultimately that will increase your profitability. So, it has had a big impact on my business network. And I like to think that like a little family there. Got a lot of good friends. I actually look forward to going at 7:30 a.m. So.
Drunk Uncle Pete. You have
Yeah, you can't say that about all my meetings that I'm looking forward to going at 7:30 in the morning. So
yeah, you guys do
good.
7:30. We do 11:30. So we're wide awake when we get there. You guys, man, 7:30 is early. Wow.
I like it though, because then it's like, beginning of the day, I got the whole day to work.
But it's done by 9 o'clock, and you've got the whole day. True.
Do you have in your own personal life and work, do you have a mentor or someone that you kind of look up to for business advice?
Yeah, I mean, I think that depending on which career, I seem to have worked for a lot of small business owners through my career leading up until, working for this national company that I'm with right now. But prior to this, I like to think that I really embody and immerse myself in the businesses that I used to work for, and learned a lot off of each of those professionals. Business owners like yourself, when you get involved in a smaller organization, you really are able to participate in so many different things and soak it up. It's not like you're just a lemming that's kind of got to earn your stripes and make it to the next minor level and climb your way up throughout the company. So I really value a lot of the different business owners that I worked with. And then obviously my father is a resource as well. He's pretty business savvy, and I like bouncing ideas off with him and sharing my success stories. And
what does your father do for a living?
He is in sales and marketing, and he manages the Northeast region of it's a Culligan Water. I don't know if you're familiar with the familiar with that. Yeah, with that brand. So he travels around through New York, Pennsylvania, a few different other states up in the Northeast, and make sure that everything is above par, and handles the marketing and manage a few of those stores as well. So that's what he does currently. So I'm always sharing insights with him, and he returns the favor.
Very cool. Have you attended other professional networking groups? I know I heard that you kind of floated around. You checked out some other business networking BNI groups before you settled on this one, but any other things like outside of?
Yeah, I have. I certainly visited some other BNI groups. I did the whole Chamber of Commerce thing, which certainly has value, but it's a little bit more. For what I was looking for, I like the camaraderie and BNI. I don't know. I'm not going to compare the two, but I'm involved with the chamber somewhat, but not to the level where I am with BNI. It's not even apples to apples in my mind. But it's certainly, they have good events, and they're very involved, and they do a lot of good things. So that's one avenue. And then I even bounced around to a couple of different lead share types of groups. And it's really interesting to see how they're structured compared to BNI. But basically, this is where my loyalty lies, and the proven recipe. I mean, I've had the privilege to work with a handful of the members within our group, and they've also passed me some leads. So you really have to stand behind your product to walk in every week at 7:30 when people are running payroll, when you got 4 or 5 members that are using your service, because there's a lot of opportunities for minor things, little issues or little requests. So everybody has great things to say, and like I said, you got to really have some guts to sell to the people you see every week, because there's nowhere to hide.
I think that's one of the strengths of BNI, that you really have to deliver on your service, because you're going to see those same people every single week, and so you're either going to do well or you're going to fail quickly and not last very long.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Ronika wants to join in. You want to jump in and ask a question, Ronika?
Yeah, let's bring Ronika in. She wants to ask a question. Sure.
Let's see who pronounced her name correctly.
You guys all butchered it. But
Ronika. You said Ronika.
it's Ronika. Can you hear me okay?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. So my video is not working for some reason.
Hopefully she's not on a Surface Pro.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm bummed out because this is my very first blab and I was looking forward to
I attended another BNI group this morning down in Great Falls, Virginia.
Cool.
I was invited.
Oh, yeah?
Somebody who attended our BNI group was a visitor it was a couple weeks ago. He was from Master. You remember her name was Master Craft Flooring, and invited me to come down to her group. I actually knew two other people in her group. One of them is his name is Dr. Lobig of Lobig Chiropractic. He's got
any relation?
It's not a direct relate. We're related back in Germany, going back several generations.
Wow, interesting.
There's only two Lobig families in the United States, and there's my family in Iowa and there's his family in Pittsburgh.
Oh my goodness, that's pretty wild.
Immigrated separately, but there's no direct relation that we're aware of. So there's him, and then there's a video guy down there that I knew. That was kind of funny.
Well, Ronika, we can't see you, but we can hear you. You have any thoughts on our discussion today?
You can hear her?
Yeah. Everybody can hear me? Is that right?
We can hear you fine.
I can't hear. Can you hear Jim?
No, not yet.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, okay. I can hear her fine.
Really?
Can you guys hear me now?
I'm going to kick her off so she can come back in.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we'll bring you back. All right.
I'm going to kick you out. I'm going to close your session and then try to come back in,
Ronika.
Did she say Ronika?
There she is. She's coming back.
I'll let her.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear her now?
Well, so Philip can hear me, but nobody else can.
Ask what kind of she's on.
Okay.
Weird.
Well,
okay.
I don't know, guys. I'll try again, I guess, later. You can kick me out.
Sorry about that. Please come back at another time, okay?
Will do.
Okay.
Could she hear us or she could only hear you?
She could hear you guys and she could hear me. But y'all couldn't hear her?
No, that's strange.
This is why they call it beta. Blab beta.
That's a bummer because I was looking forward to hearing what she had to say. But please come back.
Yeah, tell us what kind of device you're on. That might make a difference. Doesn't work on it.
Yeah, if you had a question, you feel free to just type it in, and I'd be happy to address it. So
yeah, if you type a slash and then a capital Q and then to type your question after that, it'll show up like an official question.
Okay, she's on a laptop. Yeah. Well, while she's writing up her question, Jim, the question a lot of people have before they join BNI is, am I going to get the return on my investment on this? I mean, I get the social part of it. I get the referrals part of it. I want to refer business to my fellow BNI members.
Mm-hmm.
But will this really be worth my time and effort and upfront investment? What would you say to them?
Well, I mean, that's a natural feeling to have. But if someone is too focused on the short-term goals and the quick results, then you're kind of approaching the whole thing with the wrong attitude, in my opinion.
That's right. That's right.
I'm a big believer that there's no such thing as business ethics. It's just ethics. You're either an ethical person in life or you're not. You're either hard worker, you're either a go-getter or you're not. So for me, I approach everything, whether someone asked me to help design a set for a school play, or I'm doing a very complex business deal, or I'm helping paint my grandmother's room. Everything I do, I approach with my name's attached to it. I want it to be as best as it can possibly be. And I think that as long as you are willing to put in the effort, and you're likable, and you have a good service or product, and if all of those things are in a line, then you will be successful. There's no there's no alternative to that. So yeah, I do think you will see a return on your investment, but if you're too focused about that, not willing to wait it out and put in the work, then you might not. There's no quick results.
No, that's right. Button. That's right.
Results for everybody, but some people get very quick results. Like when I joined, I got a referral like the second week I was there, 2 referrals. From Doug. He referred me to another BNI member from another chapter, Mary Jefferson. He referred me to her, and then I started doing coaching with Mary like a couple weeks after that. So it was like the first 2 months of my participation there, I had a client referral, and then Mary brought in Roberta, and then I was doing coaching with both of them on social media for like 2 and 3, and then Mary Jefferson referred me to a good friend of hers who she worked out with, who's happened to be the owner of Fixation Marketing, who became my biggest client for like 2 years, and me doing consulting with Fixation Marketing. I mean, and because of that, like that ripple effect, I mean, 44% of my income comes from BNI referrals.
Yeah. And, certainly that, that will, it's not to say that you can't have quick results, but I think that it's important to it's just a testament to the kind of person you are and the quality of work that you do. It's I actually had some early success as well, but I got involved right off the bat. I've been in the leadership team. I'm the treasurer of the group, so it's like, hey, if you want to handle business's money and their finances, then you might as well lend those services to the group. And people sometimes don't realize that when somebody asks you for, hey, can you resend me that invoice, or, something that is a BNI related request, when you quickly respond back to that, it's a testament to the type of person you are and the way that you conduct yourself in business as well. So everything that you do is a reflection of you and your business, the way you dress, if you show up a little bit early to do some open networking, if you respond promptly to emails, or, if someone asks you to pass the salt and pepper, however you conduct yourself, it's a reflection of the type of person you are and whether or not they can trust you. It might even be subconscious sometimes, but I think that you're always projecting your own brand or your self-image. So that's important to keep in mind, I think.
Yeah, very true. Okay, well, that's kind of coming to the end of our discussion. One of the let us know how people can get in touch with you if they need to, if they want to contact your
podcast. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now is our busiest time of year. Everyone is trying to change payroll providers when the very first payroll in January runs. So it's kind of a crazy time, but we still have a little bit of time to squeeze in 1 or 2 more. But in a general sense, my email is just the first letter of my name, J, and my last name, Davis, @primepay.com. So jdavis@primepay.com. And, also you can see the Twitter handle here is @PrimePayDC. You can also go to our website and type in your zip code, and you will see me as a local rep in the area. So that's primepay.com.
Yep, very good. I'm just putting it in the chat session, in the chat section over there.
Jim, thank you so much. We appreciate your participation in our website program here. And if there's any way we can help you in the future, please let us know.
No, I appreciate that. This has been great. I appreciate the invitation, and this is a pretty cool platform. I'll have to check it out a little bit more. So
Yeah, please do.
For those of you who are watching this on the replay, our next interview is going to be with Mary Jefferson, who I mentioned in this Blab show from Make It Count Marketing. That's going to be on December 17th. So thanks everybody for checking us out.
Thank you. Have a good night.